How to create a design like this in Photoshop? Well, what you need to do is create a gradient, a very basic gradient. Now I'm using a document that's sized. So if I go to image size, you can see the size, 1920 by 1080. So I'm going to go with that. And I'm just going to create a gradient. Just go to the gradient tool. So here's the gradient tool. And I'm going to use, you could use all kinds of complex gradients. You can find lots of them in legacy gradients and just apply it. I'm just going to use difference mode and linear. And the great thing about that is you can create all kinds of unique designs very quickly by applying it 3 or 4 times. Please check out my earlier videos on how to create gradients. So you've got that. What you can then do is you can take a selection from this. So I'm just going to go over here and just going to go here to elliptical marquee tool. Now you can't create a pattern from elliptical marquee tool. Unfortunately, I really wish that feature was available, but it's not. So you have to have a slight workaround. So I'm just going to create a selection. Now you can make it as big or as small as you like. I'm just going to go for a fair size one, probably about 400 pixels, 500 pixels, that sort of size. And now I could also, if you want, of course, go to select, and you've got options here to modify it. You can feather it, but I'm just going to go with that design. And I've gone for what I think is probably the most interesting part of the design. So just go for there, edit and copy. And now, of course, you could use shortcuts. I'm using always the menus, but you could also use shortcuts all the way through this. Then go to File and New. And this time you'll see clipboard, yes, 407. It's quite close to it. And got here 407. And I'm going to go with transparent, because I want a transparent background, because that's really useful when it comes to patterns. So create. That's quite small, but I'm now going to paste that in. So edit and paste. Now I can resize it a bit, just resize just slightly. Maybe apply some blurring. Don't have to have it completely super sharp. Go to filters, and then you go down to blur, and maybe go for Gaussian blur or motion blur, and you can see you can create just a subtle blur. Again, 4, 5, just very subtle. With that design now, you can define it as a pattern, and it's got transparency. So when you apply it multiple times, it will apply on top, and you won't get that horrible square or rectangular design that you would if you just went with a plain background. So edit and define pattern. So with that, you can define it as a preset. So it's stored away in the patterns presets. You can find it via window and patterns. So if you go down there, you'll see it there. You can see the one that I created earlier. Now, what I'm going to do, I can go here, or let's go to another document. This one, just going to use this one, just as good as any. So edit and fill. Let's just fill it back to white, so you can see it all the way back to white. And now I'm going to apply that pattern. So how to do that? Go to edit and fill. So edit and fill. Go for contents, go for the pattern. The pattern option, make certain you select the pattern, not the previous one, so select that, and now that is the one I just created a bit earlier. Make certain the script is set on, and that's the key thing. Symmetry Fill, that's what I'm going to be using, Symmetry Fill, and I always like to click and turn that on, make certain it's on. Seems to be a bug where sometimes you click it, you think it's going to work, and then it doesn't, and just applies it just as a normal pattern. Click OK. And now you can see the design. Now this, of course, depending on what you selected, the area you selected, it will be different. Now I've gone for maximum size. I've also gone for 7. That's my favourite. Dilative rotation symmetry. Go with that one, but you've of course got other choices as well. Now it might fill, maybe not, the entire design. But you can then modify this, the width, you can just change it. I'm going for 53, 50% and 90. And again, you can vary it, and that will change the pattern design. You can see as you change that, maybe go for 100, and you can see the design there. You can also go for color randomness as well. But I'm going to keep it as is. So let's just put that back to there. But you can change it. And then just apply. So click OK. And you can see design there. Now, it's not exactly filling the entire design. That's the one trouble with it. Maybe I should have selected a slightly bigger area, maybe create a slightly small document. And of course, you can always go here and crop and just crop it so it just uses that, just that part of the document. If you want to just go back, but you could of course create a slightly bigger design, bigger selection, and then create that design is another way. So you've got that design now. What you can now do is you can go and apply a filter. One of the new ones, filter and neural filter. Now, if you haven't got these because you're using earlier versions of Photoshop, sorry. Basically, it's neural filters. They're always adding new features. And this one, landscape mixer. So if you've got the latest version of Photoshop, you should have this. It's a beta still, so there's still going to be changes. To activate it, obviously highlighted there, just activate it by just clicking there. And the one I used earlier was this one. It comes with presets. Now you could go and do custom, so you literally millions of different designs can be created. So you go custom and you could use any image. But you've got all these great presets, so why not use them? So you can select that one and straight away when you apply it, it will process for a bit and you've got a lovely snowy design, which is fine. But this one I think is nice. So I'm just going to go with this mountain, and there's the design. So literally, instead of what was there before, you've now got this really interesting sort of twig-like, sort of spiraling inwards design. But of course, you've got other ones as well. Just try them out. Takes a few seconds to process. Some work better than others. And that's why the custom's very useful, because you can tweak it. But I'm going to go with that one. And you can tweak all the strengths, day, all the various settings, winter, etc. But I'm going to go with this. Now you can apply it and you can see down the bottom here, you've got current layer, you've got all the options. If I drag this up, you can see it probably a bit clearer. Current layer. So you can see there, new layer, masked, whole load of, but current layer is perfectly reasonable. So I'm just going to drag that back out again. I just didn't want it to be covered over so you couldn't see it. And you can click OK. And it will process it. And now you can see your design looks very different from what it was. It's still obviously got that same sort of unusual circular design there, which is of course what I want. But then what you can do, you can go to image and auto tone. And you can see now the result even more unusual. Or maybe go to edit, image, adjustments, maybe go for levels and tweak it just slightly. Just change that, tweak that. And to finish, I always like just to quickly use filter and down stylize and oil paint. And you can apply stylization set to about 8 or 9, cleanliness 8 or 9 again. Don't really like lighting, so just click OK. And you can see the design there. And again, auto tone and all kinds of unique circular designs like that can be created using this approach. And of course, what you can always do, exactly the same as before. Go to elliptical marquee tool, select and deselect. For some reason, it just selected it all. Didn't want that. You can actually use that part of selection again. Just select that, edit, copy, and do exactly the same as before. Go through all the things, create a new document, paste, create a pattern, and then you can use that to create another unique circular design like this. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Any questions? Please let me know in the comments below. Always great to hear from you. Thank you much.